Hey Stitch family, it's Andrew here with another community update. I hope you've been well. I got to say, I haven't had the best day. We discovered this morning that my daughter has tested positive for COVID. So I'm now the very first day of 7 days of isolation here at home in my room. So not the best news, I've got to say. The silver lining is it gives me plenty of time shut in here to finally getting around to putting together another community update. A little bit overdue, apologies about that, but there's just been so many things happening in the community. It's been very exciting. So this week's update, we're working on a lot of things. I wanted to cover off a couple of new features that we've been working on. We're working on lots of features, some of which are still on their way out the door, but there have been a couple that you've probably seen starting to pop up in Stitch recently, and I'm going to cover two of them today. The first is photos on Stitch, and the second is updates to the members page. Before we get into that, however, I just wanted to let you know that if you like this video on YouTube, it really helps spread the word about Stitch, which of course is great for everyone in the community. And if you'd like to be notified every time we release a new video, just hit the subscribe button. I only usually make about one video once a month, so you won't be overwhelmed by notifications, but it will mean you won't miss out on any of the important happenings about Stitch. And finally, if you love Stitch and would like to support the community while rocking some really cool merchandise, please check out the Stitch store. You can find it by going to store.stitch.net in your browser. Here you'll find a whole bunch of really cool items, from t-shirts to mugs to jackets. And we're adding new items all the time, including special collector's edition items, so make sure you take a look. Wearing a Stitch shirt or cap isn't just a great way to get recognised at Stitch events and activities, it's also a handy conversation starter to help you spread the word about Stitch, which again benefits everyone. And of course, every item purchased helps us keep the community running. How cool is that? All right, now photos have got to be one of the features that we've wanted to do for the longest time. I think it was about 18 months ago, I actually posted, it might have been longer, posted some comments in the Stitch forums, getting input from members about their thoughts on the introduction of the ability to share photographs. And there's lots of scenarios where sharing photos makes a lot of sense. You know, if I'm an event organizer or I have a Stitch group and we've had an event, people want to be able to share photos with everyone who attended the event. It's just a social thing to do. There's lots of other scenarios that make help strengthen the community. But of course, we had a bunch of other concerns though, because things like privacy and what's happening to where my photo might be being shared, and how do you protect against improper content and all that sort of stuff. So we got a lot of feedback from members that made us realize that the technology is one thing. It's, you have to build the feature to upload photos and share them and everything like that. But there's the social aspect and the safety aspect, which, as you know, is super important for Stitch. So we spent the better part of last year chipping away at some of the things that we felt were necessary to make sure that the community was able to manage, improper behavior, whether that was that small number of people who wanted to cause problems, or just that social friction between members. And you may be familiar with the member-based moderation system we came up with that covers the forums and the events and the groups, and things like flagging, upvoting and downvoting and reporting and so on like that. So we got to a point where we actually started to feel it's not perfect. There's always stuff we can do there, but we got to the point where we felt confident that most of the activity on Stitch happens it's always been the case. Most activity is positive, but the community now is very quick to respond and self-manage when things go off the rails, to take things down if they're inappropriate, or to correct behavior where it's not welcome. And so we thought, well, actually now is the time that we could start working on introducing photographs. So we did that, and some of you have already spotted without an announcement. We didn't make any announcements. We wanted to see how things went by gradually introducing the feature, because there's lots of things that we still plan to do about photo albums and management of photographs. But certainly the idea of sharing photos in the forum discussions or for events and organizers and groups, that's what we've bitten off. And I'm going to take you through how that works. Let's take a look, shall we? Okay, let's say you're the host of an event last week and you took some photos at the event you'd like to share with everyone who attended. That's a super common scenario and something we get asked about a lot. Okay, so just head over to the activities page and click on the filter at the top of the page to change your filter to look at your past events. This is a super easy way of finding events you've attended in the past, which you might want to do if you want to go back and send a message to someone you met or send an announcement, that sort of thing. So click search and that'll bring up all of your past events. Then click on the event you're looking for. And to post a photo, you need to make a comment or announcement on the event. So here I go, typing in, "Great to see you at the event last night. Here's the photo I mentioned." Once you've typed your comment, you click on this new button here in the comment field here, Add Photos. This will bring up the photo picker. You can click on the icon to choose from a photo from your computer or your phone. Now I'm on a Mac, so it might look a little bit different from what you're used to if you're doing this on a Windows computer or on your phone. But basically, once you click that button, you're able to browse the photos stored on your device and then choose one to upload. So just click the upload button and then you'll see the photo upload and then it'll appear in Stitch here. At that point, you just hit the post comment button and you're done. This is how the comment will look to everyone else. If you click on it, you can expand it and look at the photo in detail. And you can see here, this is a photo of my cat getting into a washing machine, which is something he likes to do all the time, something I mentioned at that event. So all the usual comment editing features are still there. So I can click edit on the comment if I want to add another photo, for example. Let's say I want to add a second photo that Jamie from Canada shared with me last week. A comment can have up to 10 photos attached. And if you click on them, you'll be able to scroll back and forward through them using the photo gallery. So that's all there really is to it. We know a lot of you have been using the feature already. And as I said before, the usual moderation features on Stitch still all apply. So if you see a photo posted that breaches the community guidelines, whether that's because it's inflammatory or inappropriate, or most importantly, if you're in the photo and you don't want it to be displayed, then just go down to the comment menu and hit report comment. The moment you do this, the comment will instantly be hidden from Stitch until we get a chance to review it. So only do it if you think it's justified. But we do it this way because we rely on our members to help make sure the community is working for everyone. And that includes respecting the rights of all members about how photos of you are used. If you don't want a photo of yourself on the site, you want it removed, just click the report button, that'll remove it instantly, and you don't need to wait for us to review it. Now, in most cases, of course, none of that's necessary. You just need to have a word with the organizer when they're taking photos, mention you don't like them to post any of you, and that usually does the trick. Okay, now the other big area that's seen a bit of obvious improvements recently is the members page on Stitch. Some of you may not use the members page all that much. Some of you use it on a daily basis. That's totally cool. But our big theme with the members page is improving the way it can be used to really build connections rather than just use it as a way of looking at people's profiles or, browsing. It's more about how can our directory of members be used to build social connections, create community, and create, better outcomes for everyone on the Stitch. So that's one of our big themes. And please bear in mind, we're only partway through that process. There's a bunch of changes that are about to come, which I'm super excited about because I think we've learned a lot about how a tool like the members page and building your own network and social network in Stitch can be really positive. But we've introduced some features recently just to help every time something is kind of built and ready to go, out it goes out the door so that members can use it and give feedback. So I wanted to just show you some of those changes. As long as you know, there's still a lot more to come, and I'll probably be doing another one of these videos in a few weeks' time. Let's take a look. Okay, the first thing you'll notice is we've moved the list of suggested members into its own section here at the top. By default, you'll see a single row of member suggestions, but you can hit Show More to expand this to a few more rows if you'd like to see more members. Suggested members are the profiles of members that the Stitch system chooses to show you based on the companionship search preferences you've chosen, your distance, and a whole range of other factors such as how many interests they've got in common with you, how much detail they've included in their profile, how responsive they are, how responsive you are, and so on. A lot of things. Every time you take an action on one of the suggestions, it gets removed from your queue and filled with another suggestion. So here's an example of how that works. I'll choose to skip this profile here, for example, and you'll see it get removed and replaced with a new one. Skip profiles come back again in your queue at some later point, but if you keep on skipping them, the system will learn to put them further and further down your suggestion queue. Suggestions are great if you're specifically looking for someone who matches your preferences or aren't really quite sure where you want to start connecting with other members. As you get comfortable in the community, however, you might start to discover that you're not really interested in the suggestions that Stitch gives you. You're just interested in reaching out to members in your area and getting engaged in what's happening in the community and getting them engaged too. So if you're not interested in the suggestions, you can just close that section. It's not gone forever. You can always bring it back just by opening the search filter box and choosing this button to get it back, just like that. Okay, let's just close it for now though. Closing the suggestion list means you're just left with what we call the member directory listing. The member directory shows you all the members in your area, not just those who match your preferences. You can kind of think of it like your window into a list of everyone in the community that you can search and browse. Now, one of the new features we've added is the addition of new sort options on this part of the member directory. You might be an active community member who's interested in reaching out to new members when they join, to welcome them to the community and encourage them to get involved. If so, you are a legend. New members are 9 times more likely to get involved in Stitch when someone welcomes them and sends them a personal invitation to attend an activity. So just set the sort order to newest and you'll see all the newest members in your area. If you see someone you like, send them a message to say hi. Better yet, say hi to everyone. Now, in addition to newest and closest sort options, we've added recently active, which lets you sort the list based on who has been the most recently active on Stitch. Members who are very active on Stitch are much more likely to respond to new messages, so sorting the order in this way can be a good way to connect with active members in your area. Now, the final new feature we've just released on this page is a big upgrade to the search feature on the members directory. Previously, the search box only let you search for members with a particular interest. Now you can use it to search for pretty much anything across the whole community, including names, locations, profile descriptions, interests, and so on. So say you've gone along to a Stitch event and you met someone you really got on well with and you'd like to send them a note, but you don't know where to find them. So you can use the search box to combine search terms to find the person you're looking for. I had a great chat with Jeff at one of my events, and I know Jeff mentioned he was from Dundas, a place called Dundas. So if I enter Jeff and then Dundas in the search box, there he is. Stitch is showing me everyone whose profile includes the word Jeff, in this case his name, and Dundas, which in this case is his location. But let's say I couldn't remember where Jeff lived, but we had a great chat about the fact we both enjoy golf and bridge. So I can search for Jeff, golf, bridge, and it gives me a list of all the members named Jeff who've mentioned both golf and bridge somewhere on their profile. Now I see 2 Jeffs. I can click the one I was looking for and send him a message. But hey, why stop with just him? This other Jeff looks like a great guy too, and he's also interested in bridge and golf, so I should send him a message too. In fact, if I remove Jeff from the search term, I'll get a list of all the members who are interested in golf and bridge. Just look at all these great members. It's totally up to you how you use the search feature, but it's a great way to find different members in the community based on who they are or what they're interested in and send them a message to get connected. And that's what Stitch is all about. We hope you give it a try and let us know how you go. Okay, and that's it for this week's update. As usual, if you've got any questions, please leave your comments in the feedback below, in the comments below. Send me a message or just send a message to support if you've got concerns or questions. I hope to see you at one of my events coming up soon. And in the meantime, bye for now.